Tonight, fears about the federal budget on the eve of its unveiling.
The budget tomorrow is all about, it's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
Carney's first fiscal plan has public sector workers worried about their employment future. Lansdowne 2.0 comes with a fresh warning from the city's Auditor General.
We have a responsibility to make tough decisions on behalf of the people of Ottawa and protect their interests.
Why the whistle is being blown on a contract that may not cover unforeseen costs. Plus, calls to keep it simple when it comes to speed limits.
What we'd really like to see is the lanes narrowed to be able to actually do something to physically control the speed.
An East End road has drivers confused and frustrated. Good evening. Patricia is away tonight. Prime Minister Mark Carney's first federal budget will be released in less than 24 hours, and people across the capital are collectively holding their breaths, anxiously waiting to learn more about Canada's fiscal plan and what it could mean for the public sector. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live now with more on this. Austin.
Well, Stefan, Mark Carney has made it clear his government.
We're moving from reliance to resilience, from uncertainty to prosperity. We're going to do the kind of things that will make this country stronger.
An optimistic tone from Canada's finance minister, picking out a new pair of shoes, continuing a pre-budget tradition. But a cloud of uncertainty hangs over the public sector workforce in the nation's capital.
Definitely some cuts, it seems like, for the government at the federal level. I think the writing was on the wall before the election on that. I don't know what the severity is going to be. We have no real idea.
I hope the cuts aren't as severe. I went through the 2012 workforce adjustment, so hopefully they're not as severe as that.
The Public Service Alliance of Canada says recent comments from the finance minister are cause for concern.
Discussion about going back to pre-pandemic numbers, which means a cut of possibly 70,000 federal public service workers.
The Prime Minister is calling this a budget of austerity and investment, but union leaders argue public service workers are needed to deliver on that promise.
I truly believe that this vision that the Prime Minister has and the government is not going to be fulfilled unless it has those strong public services. And I think it's going to shoot itself in the foot if it doesn't have that infrastructure in place.
Economists say specific details on where public sector jobs will be cut may not be released tomorrow, but layoffs are almost certain.
Budgets are good news documents, and that's usually how governments want to spin them, the measures that they are taking to help Canadians. And so you generally don't include in those documents the bad news, which is how you're paying for those new investments.
Even the prospect of layoffs would impact the local economy.
Folks may not be laid off, but they may be concerned that they will be laid off. And so as a result, they'll just spend a lot less in the local economy.
And with so many in Ottawa working in the public sector, it's a stressful time waiting for clarity on which departments could face job cuts.
I have daughter-in-laws and sons that work with the government, so that won't work very good if that happens to them.
Now, the budget will be released at 4 p.m. tomorrow, and with the Liberal government 3 seats shy of a majority, they will need support from some opposition members in order for it to pass. If they don't get that support, Canadians could be heading to the polls once again in December. Stefan.
CTV's Austin Lee reporting live for us tonight. Thank you, Austin. You can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. That's where we have more details about tomorrow's federal budget. With the final vote on Lansdowne 2.0 just days away, there's a new warning from the city's Auditor General about the project's price tag. She says the contract may not cover unforeseen costs and could end up being more expensive for taxpayers. CTV's Leah Larocque joins us live in studio with more on this. Leah.
Well, Stefan, over the past couple of weeks, we have seen hundreds of pages of documents released relating to the financing of this massive $419 million project. Now the latest from the Auditor General, who says the city is leaving a very small margin of error, no wiggle room for anything to go wrong.
As crews make Lansdowne a bit more festive, there are warnings of possible Scrooge-like financing for Lansdowne 2.0.
The city doesn't have a good track record with big projects, so I think it's quite risky. We may all be stuck with a big bill at some point.
The project will cost $419 million, but the city is only budgeting $36 million for contingencies to cover things like possible tariffs on steel and aluminum or supply chain disruptions.
It doesn't seem to make any sense. Yeah, the math doesn't add.
The Auditor General saying if this risk was to materialize, it could require the city to take on additional debt, leaving taxpayers on the hook.
The developer could walk away if we don't have it ready, and we would owe them $13 million. So there's a lot of risk built into this plan that could cost a lot more money. And where does that money go? It goes to City of Ottawa debt at the end of the day.
The Auditor General's report not only raises concerns about very little room when it comes to the financing of Lansdowne 2.0, but it also raises concerns about a very tight timeline for construction.
We are concerned that if they're not using the right types of contractors, the right type of skilled tradespeople, that the job just won't get done on time and on budget, and that will really impact some of the things the Auditor General was saying.
All of this comes only days before the final Lansdowne 2.0 vote on Friday.
And at this point, I don't see any reason why we should not proceed with Lansdowne 2.0. It's a better deal for taxpayers than it was a year ago, than it was 2 years ago. It's a huge opportunity.
It would be interesting if there was several massive condo towers going up and all the construction and years of impact that would have on the neighborhood.
It's all crazy. The neighborhood will be wrecked.
Now, the Auditor General's report does reference the BMO Field expansion in Toronto. That was a 2-year, $120 million renovation and expansion, but it ended up 25% over budget. Again, Stefan, the vote is on Friday.
It's a lot of money. Thank you, Leah. If you've driven on Jeanne d'Arc Boulevard in Orléans, you may have noticed the constantly changing speed limits. Along a 7.5-kilometer stretch, the speed limit changes 6 times, creating confusion for drivers and leading many to call for change. Now the city is moving to simplify the rules. Here's CTV's Dave Charbonneau.
It's very confusing.
For longtime Orleans resident Helen Pollux, driving through her Orleans neighborhood is confusing and sometimes costly.
I've had a ticket, a speeding ticket, yeah. And again, I was in a zone where it was half and half.
Along this 7.5-kilometer stretch of Jeanne d'Arc Boulevard, speed limits are posted several times between 40 and 60 kilometers an hour, and that includes school zones.
You know, within a 3 to 4 kilometer stretch of road, you're going from 60 kilometers an hour down to 40, up to 60. During school hours, back down to 40 again, 60, 50.
Like this stretch, which is a 60 kilometer an hour zone, then in roughly 200 meters, it drops to 50. The city now wants to reduce the number of speed zones from 6 down to 3, introducing consistent 40 and 50 kilometer an hour limits to make driving simpler and more predictable for everyone traveling in the area. But some say these changes don't go far enough.
And so what we'd really like to see is the lanes narrowed to be able to actually do something to physically control the speed. We have a new roundabout in here, and you know, the signs say 30, but the road design also forces you to slow down.
Councillor Matt Luloff says more consistent speed limits means more safety.
It just makes more sense, you know? I get it. You know, people don't like being in a 40 zone. But you need to be paying attention when there's vulnerable road users and children around.
And some residents say it's about time.
I just want one speed limit. I mean, say from there to past Orleans Boulevard.
It's too many changes? Yeah. So I think they should just have one or maybe just 2.
Others say the current speed limits are manageable as long as drivers pay attention.
You just have to read the signs, right? And it's not so bad. It is a bit unusual. And there's a little piece that's 40 when you go towards the shopping center. So yeah, I suppose. But the important thing is for people to slow down.
City Council will vote on the speed changes on Jeanne d'Arc Boulevard North at its next meeting October 12th. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
Still ahead, Dolls of Remembrance, how crocheting with care keeps the memory of a Canadian corporal alive. We'll bring you the backstory of the Izzy doll a little later. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's 6 degrees out there right now, and it was a wet and dreary day in the capital. Light rain falling steadily throughout the day, Jackie. You're here with the first check on the forecast. More rain on the way?
The good news is, Stefan, that in the next hour or so, at least for here in the downtown part of Ottawa, that it is going to clear up. There is still a chance we could see it into the overnight hours, but for at least tomorrow, it will be dry, even sunny conditions. What we do want to keep an eye on is those wind gusts. There is a special weather statement in effect for parts of Ontario, specifically here in Eastern Ontario. It's around Kingston and parts of the Seaway where we can see wind gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour, and that's expected to lift by the time tomorrow morning rolls around. But this gives you quite the idea. So it's pretty strong down by Kingston, really around Cornwall as well. Ottawa, not so much for this hour, but it is going to carry on into the overnight. It's not until Tuesday morning that it's going to start to weaken as well. So it'll be much calmer winds tomorrow, drier conditions, and lots of sunshine in store. So here's a closer look. There is still a slight chance that we could see early in the morning. It's going to be a slight chance of showers, 4 degrees to start off our day, but we're getting to a daytime high of 10 degrees. We are in for a mixed bag of weather for the rest of the week. We'll have these details and much more in just a bit. Stefan.
Thank you, Jackie. A new law in Quebec changing the way physicians are paid is sparking protests, resignations, and concerns about doctors leaving the province altogether. In the Outaouais, 3 doctors are leaving the health authority, and there are fears more could follow suit. CTV's Josh Morano joins us live with more on this. Josh.
Yeah, Stefan, it's a major shakeup for healthcare in Western Quebec and across the province. The bill is meant to improve access, but some doctors say it's having the opposite effect, forcing them to choose between their patients and their principals. Dr. Trevor Hennessy has spent more than a decade caring for patients in Hull, but now he's packing up his office.
For me, this is not a protest. This is just the last straw.
He's one of 3 head doctors resigning from the Outaouais Health Authority after the Quebec government passed a controversial doctor's law last month.
It's just trying to pass the blame for the failings onto the doctors, who can't actually meet any of the requirements in this bill without the resources that are the responsibility of the government.
Bill 2 changes the way doctors are paid, tying salaries to performance targets, like the number of patients seen and average wait times.
Our rooms are often at 150 to 200% capacity. If there's no stretcher, if there's no triage nurse, if there's no laboratory technician to do the tests, how can the doctor do their job in less than 90 minutes?
It also fines doctors up to $20,000 a day for offenses such as leaving the province or slowing down workloads.
My last attempt is this, to try and get some change for the Outaouais. Finance us to the Quebec average. Give us what we need to be able to take care of the population.
The fact that he's come to the point where he feels broken and burnt out and is resigning as a consequence of the law, not in protest of the law, really, really bothers me.
For Donna Stefov, a former patient of Hennessy's, the new law is concerning.
The fact that we live on the border and the inequities between the systems, both within Quebec and also between the provinces, is unacceptable.
Since the bill was passed, more than 100 doctors have applied for medical licenses in Ontario and New Brunswick. Premier Doug Ford says he'll welcome physicians with open arms.
I'd love to. Call 1-800-DOUG-FORD, all the docs, and come by. We'll have you working real quick.
Quebec's premier firing back.
Right now, we have very important challenges in all provinces about our healthcare systems. But it's not time to take shots at each other. It's time to work together.
Hennessy says he's not sure what's next for him, but he would like to stay in Gatineau.
The port is not closed for me to be able to come back should things modify. There's a lot of reflections going on.
Hennessy says his last day of work will be December 31st, one day before the law takes effect. He also notes Ottawa could see more patients cross the river for care if the bill drives Quebec doctors out of the province. Stefan.
Very interesting. CTV's Josh Morano reporting live for us. Thank you, Josh. Maude Merkis-Bissonnette will be heading back to Gatineau City Hall after she was re-elected as mayor over the weekend. She received 51% of the vote, defeating Mario Aubé, who received 47%. Merkis-Bissonnette was first elected mayor in June 2024, winning a by-election to replace France Bellil. She says she is already back at work and will focus on key issues like housing affordability and health care. She says she also hopes to continue working with Ottawa Mayor Mark Sutcliffe.
Mark Sutcliffe and I have been able to establish a strong relationship in the past month since I become mayor, and I want to keep pushing that forward. We're one economic region. We have shared issues when we talk about transportation or economic issues. So I certainly want to work with Mark Sutcliffe as we did in the past months.
Sutcliffe congratulated Marquise Bissonnette on her victory, saying he looks forward to working together to improve transit and bring tourists and events to the capital region. We have extended coverage of the election results in Gatineau, as well as the results across Western Quebec, which include Chelsea, Shawville, and Maniwaki. You can find that and more online at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Ottawa police are looking for a man allegedly involved in a voyeurism incident at Bayshore Shopping Centre last month. Police say the suspect filmed a woman who was in a change room at the mall on the afternoon of October 9th. He is described as a man believed to be Middle Eastern and around 30 to 40 years old with a beard. At the time of the incident, he was wearing a blue T-shirt, dark-colored pants, and boots. A 34-year-old resident of Kingston is facing several charges after a drug trafficking investigation. Officers executed a search warrant at a home on Ford Street last week. Police arrested one person and seized cash, crystal meth, LSD, and other illegal substances. Trump's tariffs will face their biggest test this week, with the U.S. Supreme Court set to begin hearing arguments over whether the duties were imposed illegally. This comes as the fallout over Ontario's $75 million anti-tariff ad continues. Despite Carney apologizing to Trump for the ad, Premier Doug Ford says he never will. Here's CTV's Siobhan Morris.
Trade barriers hurt every American worker.
A week after it was pulled from U.S. TV networks, there's bigger bluster from the premier defending his anti-tariff ad featuring the voice of former President Ronald Reagan.
There's never been an ad in the history of this world that has seen 12.4 billion views.
On Friday, the Prime Minister revealed he hadn't wanted the ad to run at all.
Did you inform Mr. Ford that this is something that you did not want to go forward with?
Yes.
Doug Ford doesn't want to fall into what he calls a bear trap of explaining who said what.
I had a different recollection of our conversation.
Sharing that Mark Carney did keep up the pressure.
He called me from Asia a couple times and said, pull the ad.
Not relenting until after trade talks with the U.S. abruptly stopped.
No deal is better than a bad deal. And that's what President Trump wants.
While Ford is unrepentant.
I did apologize to the president. President was offended by the act, or by the ad, rather.
Ford calls the I'm sorry the Prime Minister's prerogative, but it's not something you'd catch him doing.
I'll never apologize to Donald Trump, ever. They put me on a stretching rack, I wouldn't apologize.
The yeas are 50, the nays are 46.
Ford credits the ad with reviving debate on tariffs in the U.S. Senate.
Donald Trump has stopped the discussions because a TV ad hurt his feelings.
4 Republicans jumped over and voted against tariffs on Canada.
But those are Republicans who'd already spoken out against tariffs before the ad was on television.
It didn't sway any votes in the Senate. Right? It wasn't the greatest ad in human history. It was an unforced error.
I wish the Premier would spend as much time developing a jobs plan for Ontario as he is looking at the number of views on his ad.
Worried about communities like Ingersoll, where GM is ending production of an electric delivery van because of low demand.
I want to tell you what one of the members said to me. He said, this ego clash is killing us.
Despite all the back and forth over the ad, the Premier insists his relationship with the Prime Minister is still strong, and he believes Mark Carney is doing his best to reach a trade deal for Canada. At Queen's Park, Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
It's been a joy to do them for the kids.
Coming up, a knitting project with a special meaning. Kempville Retirement Home residents donate hundreds of Izzy dolls ahead of Remembrance Day. Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. The rain is more or less let up, at least for downtown Ottawa, but there is still a chance we could see it return later this evening. To note, though, if you are heading out, there is heavy winds that is going to be moving through or overnight. Tomorrow morning, starting off things about 2 degrees, going up to about 9, but the sunshine is on its way. Here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, where it is 6 degrees, but with the wind feeling much cooler in downtown Ottawa.
CTV Ottawa is your home for local news.
Katie Griffin, CTV News in the Byward Market.
Centertown.
Canada.
Stittsville. Bringing you local stories that matter the most to you.
Kimberly Fowler in Westboro.
Orleans. Barhaven.
From every corner of the community. In the Glebe.
Manotick.
Merrickville.
Brockville. From the team you trust, we are CTV News Ottawa.
Live, local, breaking news. CTV News Ottawa.
Hey, Ottawa, know someone who secretly makes our city amazing? We want to hear about them.
You know, the kind of person who goes above and beyond without ever asking for anything in return.
Because Move 100, CTV, and Lazy Boy want to give them a huge shout out.
We're searching for Ottawa's unsung heroes, the everyday people doing extraordinary things. Nominate someone for a chance to win them a $5,000 Lazy Boy gift card.
Nominate your local hero today.
Let's celebrate those who make Ottawa a better place.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. They are tiny dolls that have made a big impact, and now so have knitters from Kemptville Retirement Living. They've made more than 800 Izzy dolls that will be sent to kids in war zones overseas, continuing a tradition started by a fallen peacekeeper. Here's CTV's Katie Griffin.
All right.
Inside these boxes,
I think you're going to need more cards.
Yeah. Precious cargo.
I did 225 myself, and it's been a joy to do them for the kids.
Noella Claroux is a resident at Kemptville Retirement Living. She and others knitting hundreds of Izzy dolls.
We had a knitting club on Tuesday, and we all got together and we all knit.
The dolls, symbols of friendship and peace, are named after Master Corporal Mark Isfeld. He was killed by a landmine while on tour in Croatia 31 years ago. Before his death, his mom made dolls he distributed to children wherever he went.
We have 883 Izzy dolls with us today.
His legacy living on.
It's amazing. In one swoop, they've given us more dolls than we raised all of last year.
The group donating the dolls to the Canada Aviation and Space Museum.
So what we do with them is after November, we pile them together and we send them over to Health Partners International Canada, HPIC, who use them as packing materials for their medical kits that they send out to places in need.
Dolls are then distributed to local children.
And of course, I had to hop on board. We had so many donations of wool, every different color and kind, and it was just fun to pick out different ones and make our own creations.
It's something to do together. A lot of these ladies would knit in their room before, and now they come and they gather in the main lounge and they knit together.
Making a big impact, one tiny doll at a time.
We would really like a picture of kids receiving them to put up in our home.
Katie Griffin, CTV News.
As the first week of November begins with some rainy weather, it turns out October was the wettest month of the year so far. New data from Environment Canada shows Ottawa received 141 millimeters of rain in October, well above the normal monthly average. It was also warmer than normal last month. October's rainfall total was higher than the combined rainfall amounts for July, August, and September. Now for another look at the forecast, here's Jackie, and I know there are many people in our region that are welcoming all this wet weather.
Yes, they are welcoming the rain. Are you going to be welcoming the chance of flurries by the middle of the week?
I don't know what you're saying. I don't understand that word.
Let's not focus on that. Let's focus on what we are anticipating for tomorrow. Yes, we saw some active weather moving through, a lot of rain. We saw right now temperatures sitting at 6 degrees, saw a daytime high of about 10. The good news is we are near the end of that for at least tonight. Mostly cloudy skies. What I am not quite ready for is that sunset at 4:46. I am enjoying the extra hour of sleep, however. 2 degrees is our overnight lows. Chance of showers and heavy wind gusts moving through our overnight into tomorrow morning, where the winds will calm down much more. 10 degrees the daytime highs. There's still a slight chance we could see some showers in the early morning, but it's going to move through very quickly, and we could even see it some parts of Cornwall as well as Brockville by midday for our Tuesday. But for the most part, we are anticipating clear skies for the afternoon. A little bit more cloud cover rolling into our Wednesday morning, and yeah, this is what we are keeping an eye out for, this pink and purple. It's really just outside Eastern Ontario, but the edges of the region. Could see some flurries late into our Wednesday evening, into our Thursday morning. As we look towards the lows across the region, 2-3 degrees is what we're anticipating. Some parts of the area like Kemptville as well as Kingston, a little bit warmer at 4 degrees, about average this time of year. Tomorrow's highs, though, we are luckily going up to those double digits, about 10, 11 degrees. Mainly sunshine is what we're anticipating before Wednesday rolls around, where we will likely see more rain. Across the region, lots of cool air moving in, about 10 degrees in Fredericton. We got some clouds as well in Atlantic Canada. Really, the rain sticking around here for northern Ontario, moving into parts of Quebec. It's clear in Windsor, though. 12 degrees is what the temperature is right now, and lots of sunshine for our friends in the prairies, but temperatures are getting much more brisk. 6-7 degrees is what it's anticipated. As we look towards our 7-day forecast, brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aids, celebrating over 80 years in family business. You can see that Tuesday early morning, slight chance of showers will be clearing off. 10 degrees a daytime high, but for Wednesday, the periods of rains will return. 5 degrees for our Thursday with a mix of sun and cloud. So yeah, really a mixed bag of conditions, because Friday we could see some rain again. I did mark Sunday though, Stefan. Atletico game, they are in the CPL finals.
Yes.
So we're keeping a close eye on that if you are heading out to watch the game at TD Place.
Yeah, let's keep the ground dry for them.
Fingers crossed.
All right, thank you, Jackie.
Yeah, pay the money. Fix us.
Just ahead, finding physicians in Kingston and why the monetary incentive appears to be working.
Tonight, set to reveal a high-stakes spending plan.
It's an investment budget. It's a generational shift.
Plus, a pre-budget tradition twist and the crucial confidence vote in the face of trade tensions. Later on CTV National News.
CTV News community and weather anchor Jackie Perez. Weeknights.
The city of Kingston is spending millions of dollars to try and address its doctor shortage. It's offering $100,000 to new doctors who move to the area and take on patients. And as CTV's Dylan Dyson tells us, the recruitment strategy appears to be working.
We always carry another wheelchair in the van.
Medical transport driver Brian Bertrand says his days are busy with trips to walk-in clinics.
99% of what we do is for medical appointments. And there's so many of our clients that we pick up that have no doctors. And they're relying on clinics or hospitals or emergencies.
In Kingston, that's the reality for thousands without a family doctor, and the shortage could get worse as several doctors are scheduled to retire.
Little things crop up where you need a prescription here and there, and not having a family doctor just means you got to jump through a lot more hoops to get where you need to be.
The city of Kingston has invested $3.5 million since 2022, offering financial incentives to attract doctors to the area.
It's been very successful. Over the last 3 years, we've been able to attract 33 new family physicians. Typically, that's $100,000 split over, installments of 5 years, so that there is that commitment for service back to our community.
It's money out of the city budget, which usually allocates capital spending infrastructure such as roads and parks.
Yeah, pay the money. Fix us.
Of course, the healthcare must be the first preference, right? If you don't have a doctor, there are people going for an emergency or a doctor's appointment.
When the city's recruitment program first started in 2022, there was an estimated 30,000 people in Kingston without a family doctor. In 2025, that number is down to about 10,000.
I was at Greenwood Medical, and then my doctor moved to another province. I have issues, and then no doctor, And walk-in or going to the emerge is not an easy solution for that.
The city filling the gap on doctor recruitment, the mayor counting on the province to pony up and cover the recruitment of doctors.
We've put an additional $400,000 aside for the coming years. And we're doing that because we think that we've now hit a point where instead of attracting new doctors, we're now looking just to stabilize where we're at.
Dylan Dyson, CTV News, Kingston.
Now, some other stories you need to know right now. We are learning just how much OC Transpo paid for nearly a dozen used buses from the Waterloo region. In June, the Transit Service announced it had purchased 11 used diesel buses to help bolster its aging fleet. At the time, staff would not say how much the buses cost, but a new report shows the price tag was $192,000, including the cost of towing them to Ottawa. The buses are expected to hit the roads before the end of the year. They require mechanical inspections, minor repairs, and the installation of OC Transpo decals. Drivers can expect some traffic disruptions in the downtown core, with a construction project set to begin at the intersection of Elgin and Laurier Street. Crews will begin work tomorrow to improve cycling and pedestrian safety at the intersection. The westbound cycling lane will be converted to a raised cycle track on the north side of Laurier Avenue. Queen Elizabeth driveways on and off ramps will also be realigned. Drivers should expect delays during construction, especially during peak hours. The city wants to hear your opinions on the pilot project that allowed alcohol in some parks this summer. From July to the end of October, people were allowed to drink in 8 parks across the capital. There were some restrictions on when and where alcohol was allowed. We have details on how to submit your feedback on the project on our website, ctvnewsottawa.ca.
The CEO, Richard Massey, is a proud member of the Briar Health Foundation.
The 11th annual Black Tie Bingo took place over the weekend, the event raising $150,000 for specialized medical equipment here in the city. Myself and CTV Ottawa News at 6 anchor Patricia Bull emceed the event at the Infinity Convention Centre. 500 guests gathered for high-stakes bingo to raise money for Briar Health, and the Jays game was also on.
These are a $65 pair of shoes that are absolute plastic junk.
Just ahead, many people will be doing their holiday shopping online, but you have to be careful of advertisements on social media that can lead you to scam websites. We'll share what you need to watch out for after the break.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
If you're scrolling on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, chances are you'll see advertisements for products, many at massive discounts. While some of these ads may be legitimate, others could be leading you to scam websites selling cheap knockoffs. Here's CTV's Pat Foran.
I'm upset. I'm angry. I don't want this to happen to anybody else.
Jackie Belfour of Niagara Falls was on Facebook when an ad popped up for a clothing store that claimed it was going out of business.
I found a 3-piece outfit and a pair of shoes that I liked.
She paid $135, but when the merchandise arrived, Belfour says it was cheaply made, and the shoes she thought were leather were plastic.
These are a $65 pair of shoes that are absolute plastic junk.
The website appeared to be based in Canada, but she was told she would have to return the items to China at a cost of almost $100, and there was no guarantee she would get a refund.
I felt ripped off. I felt that everything about this website had been misleading and really fraudulent.
It's Facebook certified advertisement. Don't believe it. It's still a big scam.
Jinri Fu of Aurora needed a taillight for his truck. He found a company on Facebook and sent them $250. Then he was told he would have to pay more for insurance, and the part never showed up.
I feel like not comfortable because I trust the Facebook.
They're getting very hard to distinguish between what's real and what's fake.
Social media expert Janita Panu says while consumers may believe ads have been vetted by the platforms they appear on, she says that's not the case.
Scammers are building these Facebook pages, running ads for a short period of time, and then they would collect payments and maybe never deliver on the product.
To avoid ad scams, confirm you're on a legitimate website, use caution buying through social media shops, contact the company in advance of the purchase, and be suspicious of massive discounts and deals that seem too good to be true. If a price is so low that it doesn't make sense, chances are it's a fake ad. Pat Foran, CTV News.
A massive $48 billion deal in the United States will see big brands like Tylenol and Band-Aid change hands. BNN Bloomberg's Marella Fernandez has the details.
Kenvue is a company being bought by Kimberly-Clark.
Shares of Kenvue have been dragged down for weeks by Donald Trump's false claim that using Tylenol during pregnancy causes autism. But those shares gained today. Kimberly Clark will pay a premium for Kenvue. Kimberly Clark owns brands like Kleenex and Huggies and expects to save $2 billion a year once the deal settles. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down to 71.15. West Texas Intermediate crude is up a few cents to 61.05. Western Canadian Select is also up 48 cents to 48.69. And the TSX hardly moved today. Those are your business headlines. I'm Morella Fernandez.
If I was getting more money somewhere else, I would still want to go to the Jays. I want to play in the Rogers Center.
The World Series did not end in the way Canadians wanted, but the Jays' playoff run is still inspiring kids across the country. That story when we return.
Hey.
CTV and TSN 1200 want you to be the Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week. Your team could win $1,000 for new equipment, tournament fees, or an incredible team party.
Shoot us a quick video, upload it at ctvottawa.ca. Whether it's hockey, ringette, choir, band, or any team in between. Each week, the winning team will join us live in studio at CTV Ottawa at 6 to claim their prize.
Enter today for your chance to be Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week.
With a family doctor shortage here in Ontario, more people are traveling further from their home to access care. Now a new study is looking at the implications of having a doctor who is more than 30 kilometers away. CTV's health reporter Pauline Chan has those details.
Dr. Archana Gupta's study grew out of her own experiences as a family physician when she noticed many patients had to travel long distances to see her.
For some of them, it was that they had been with the clinic for a long time, but for many of them, it was, I moved during COVID and I've not been able to find anyone locally. And so having someone far away is better than having no one at all.
In a study that's the first of its kind, she looked at just under 10 million Ontarians.
This included all Ontarians that are rostered to a family physician through one of the primary care enrollment models.
Meaning Ontarians without a family doctor and even those living in rural settings beyond urban and suburban areas were not included. Researchers found about 13% of patients live more than 30 kilometers from their primary care team.
What we found is that when patients live farther away from their family physician or their primary care team, they have more emergency department use, particularly for non-urgent reasons.
Continuity of care also suffers with less primary care visits when the doctor is further away.
And they have less preventative care screening for colon cancer, breast cancer, and cervical cancer screening.
She says ideally the system would work like schools, so if a family moves, they're immediately transferred to the new school in their area.
Ontario's Primary Care Act that was passed in 2025 is a great opportunity for us to think about how we can revolutionize primary care kind of in the next 4 years.
She says transferring families to closer primary health care and making sure more physicians are placed in underserved areas will ensure earlier diagnoses and better continuity of care. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
It wasn't the storybook ending millions of Canadians were hoping for, with the Blue Jays suffering that heartbreaking loss at the World Series. But their incredible playoff run has inspired the next generation of young ball players, and come spring, it's expected a wave of new enthusiasts will be taking up the sport. Here's CTV's John Venavali-Rao.
While much of the country was caught up in Blue Jays fever for the last month, for those wanting to make it to the big leagues, the playoff run, regardless of outcome, was hugely inspiring.
It gives me extra motivation to come in here.
This Blue Jays team is really motivating. I'm here just getting work in, trying to get to another level.
Every kid at this training facility in Burlington, Ontario, has dreams of playing at least college-level baseball in the U.S., and many swinging for the majors, including 11-year-old Mateo, who last week told us he wants to play for the Blue Jays so much he'd sign with them, even if it meant a pay cut.
If I was getting more money somewhere else, I would still want to go to the Jays. I want to play in the Rogers Center.
And facilities like this now anticipating a surge in interest, with the Blue Jays' World Series appearance getting more young people excited to play the game.
It grows
it grows baseball. It makes it where it's real, it's an achievable dream.
Now, according to Baseball Canada, across the country last year, nearly 250,000 Canadians registered to play the sport. After the incredible World Series wins in '92 and '93, more kids started playing baseball. It was the same after the playoff runs in 2015 and 2016. And now another bump is expected in the spring.
It's exciting. I mean, it creates some capacity challenges for us to be able to handle, all the people that want to start to play baseball, but that's a good problem for us to have.
Baseball Canada notes the girls' side of the game has also seen significant growth in recent years, and that too could see a boost. And it's hoped, thanks to the interest generated by the Jays, there may be more Canadian stars on the field in the years to come. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Burlington, Ontario.
Coming up, a special surprise for a polar bear in Northern Ontario, a post-Halloween treat, Jackie.
Well, thanks so much, Stefan. It's pretty windy out here in Ottawa right now, but really for parts of Ontario, a special weather statement is still in effect with wind gusts up to 80 kilometers per hour, especially down by Kingston and parts of the Seaway. We'll have details of this and more in a little bit. But for now, here's a live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam. It's 6 degrees, but feeling much cooler with those winds.
You're watching CTV News with Patricia Bowl.
Pure Country 94, Ottawa's country music station. Pure access to the biggest stars and the hottest songs. After all the bars are closed. Download the free iHeartRadio app to listen to Pure Country everywhere.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Sneha Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, it's Budget Day in Canada. We get a preview of what you can expect when the budget is released tomorrow afternoon. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Coming up tonight after the news tracker starts at 7, St. Denis Medical back-to-back episodes start at 8, The Voice at 9, and The Weakest Link at 10. Here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
Definitely some cuts, it seems like, for the government at the federal level. I think the writing was on the wall before the election on that.
Anxious anticipation for thousands of public sector workers waiting to hear what's in tomorrow's federal budget and what it will mean for them and their jobs.
We have a responsibility to make tough decisions on behalf of the people of Ottawa and protect their interests.
A warning from the city's Auditor General, who says the contract for Lansdowne 2.0 leaves very little wiggle room for covering any unforeseen, unexpected costs.
What we'd really like to see is the lanes narrowed to be able to actually do something to physically control the speed.
The city is looking to simplify the speed limits on a popular Orléans road after drivers raised concerns about the current 6 different speed limits on a 7.5 kilometer stretch of Jeanne d'Arc Boulevard. Now for a final check on the weather forecast, Jackie, an umbrella would have been a good idea today.
It definitely would be. You don't need it for tomorrow, though, because we are in for more sunshine. What you will need, though, Stefan, is your winter coat, perhaps. I mean, I already brought mine out today because we're starting off with 2 degrees, and then it's going to start to warm up to about 10, but still pretty chilly with those wind gusts. Daytime high 10 degrees. Wednesday, though, we will see the periods of rain return, and dare I say it, we are keeping an eye out for Wednesday evening because with the temperatures dropping, we could see some flurries on the way as well. The good news is, though, Thursday we will get a break, sun and cloud, only getting up to 5 degrees, but then we could see the return of showers for Friday. And we did talk earlier, Stefan, Sunday Atletico final game, but Saturday, Ottawa Rapid FC take the pitch at TD Place. And they, if they win this on Saturday, will head to the finals as well. So fingers crossed to both our soccer teams.
Thank you, Jackie. And finally for us tonight, a polar bear in Northern Ontario enjoyed a massive post-Halloween treat thanks to a special donation. This is Henry. He lives at a habitat for polar bears who cannot live in the wild. This is in Cochrane, Ontario. At first, he was not sure what to make of the 1,400-pound pumpkin in his enclosure. He eventually dug in and had his fill of the seasonal treat. He had a lie down near the pumpkin after eating his way through a good chunk of it. Yep, that will do it. Need a little nap after that.
I didn't realize that that's the snack or the treats for polar bears.
Yeah, after Halloween.
The things you know, the things you learn.
Only in Cochrane, Ontario.
Only in Cochrane. So where do we put all our pumpkins? What are we going to do with them?
I don't know. Make pie? I don't know.
I'm not going to make the pie. I remember one place I was at, you brought it to one place and you had the ladder, you get to smash it. So
okay, that's fun.
The next day.
I'm not into the cleanup, though.
I wouldn't do it. I'm just there to smash the pumpkin.
Got it. Thanks for watching, everyone. Have a wonderful night. We'll see you at 11:30.